This video is for you if you are a high income Muslim hurt in your marriage, or if you messed up in your marriage and now your loved partner is hurt. If you're watching this video, it's probably very hard on you. Probably you feel stuck in your relationship and you're not able to project into future anymore. And that's actually very normal. And my aim is to provide you access to real relationship science so you know what you can do to fix and arrange the situation. And if you're hopeless, really, I know that it's very hard to see any solution in your place. While I was making this video, I was thinking about a past client I helped past year, and he was like you. He was a highly successful French Muslim. He had a society. He was an engineer. He was living in a beautiful mansion with his wife and his kids, until his wife got into a conflict with his mother, and out of anger, she went to the court and she prosecuted his mother on unfair accusation. As you must guess, this brother was very hurt and wasn't able to trust his wife anymore. So he contacted us, and I remember that call because I was at the hotel and I responded to him, and he was highly, he was very aroused in this call. He was very angry, and he was telling me, Abdel Wadud, I need revenge. I can't trust her anymore. I want to destroy her and her family. And I say, fine, okay, I got you. That's actually normal that you feel that way. But please first give me a few weeks. Let me see what I can do. And then do whatever you want if it doesn't work. So we worked together, and it was hard because there was many hurts on both sides. I'm not saying it was a simple process, but after a few weeks, that client called me and told me, Abdel Wadud, me and my wife are not happier than ever. We have the best relationship. We never had it, even better than before the hurts. So this brother didn't trust it was possible, didn't see any option and solution, but it works for him. So stick with me. And if you're still skeptical, stay until the end to this video, because I'll show you why probably you are stuck in your relationship. Now let's jump to the main principle I want you to remember, which is emotional injury is always attachment injury. That's the thing you need to understand. That's the main twist you need to do if you want to fix your situation. That may seem simple, I don't know, but you'll get soon how deep and profound that point is. That means that if you're hurt today in your relationship, or if your partner is hurt, it has actually nothing to do with the event itself and what happened. That's not the main reason the partner is hurt. It's because the partner is attached, and his attachment needs aren't met anymore. That's the whole reason why you guys are stuck in your relationship. So you need to focus on that. You need to have this mindset shift, because if you doubt yourself and you waste efforts working on anything else that attachment, you won't get out of this situation. Let's go to some basics, because this is cool. This is all good, but my guess is as things are right now, you won't be able to apply this in your life, and you'll just get stuck. Therefore, I want to give you more basics for you to understand what I mean exactly here and how you can apply this in your life. So attachment is a basic survival instinct every human being has, because human being can't live alone. They need other people to survive. So we have these attachments wired in our biology. And attachments are two types. You have insecure attachment. That just means that you are attached to a person, but you are not very sure about this attachment. You're not very trusting of this attachment. And you have secure attachment, which means simply you are attached to someone and you have your fair part of trust. You project into this attachment and you think it's based. You can trust on that. For insecure attachment, I made a video on my channel, so you can see more on that on my channel. But today we speak about secure attachments, because that's the thing that was threatened by the events. So you need to understand what's a secure attachment and what changed and what was hurt in the process of in this process of discovering this betrayal or messing up in your relationship. So Secure attachment, the main and world foremost expert on that matter is Susan Johnson. She passed away last year, but it's still pretty influential. Susan Johnson is a world foremost expert on how you can put attachment theory into practice. And she says for having secure attachment, you need to check 3 boxes, which are accessibility, responsiveness, engagement. What you need to do in your relationship, you need to be able to answer these 3 questions. And if you can answer these 3 questions and if you can trust these, then you'll have a secure attachment. The first one is, will you be there for me? If something happened and I need you, will you be there for me? So there is a need of presence that need to be checked. The second one is, will you respond to my needs and distress if I need you? Will you be able to respond to my needs and distress, which is a needs of response? And the last one is, am I important for you? Which is needs of importance. And maybe you start to get why things have been so hard now since the event happened. Because these 3 things, these 3 metrics, has been highly put into question because of what happened. So let's say, I don't know what happened for you, by the way, but let's say, I don't know, there is an affair, or there was lies, or there was maybe even, I don't know, insults. Maybe there was some kind of abuse here. And since then, things have been different. So the reason why things have been hard since then is because this 3 question or one of these 3 questions are put into questions. So after that event, I'm not so sure you will be there for me. I'm not so sure you'll be able to respond to my needs and distress. I'm not so sure I'm very important for you. For all these reasons, you've been suffering. So you have these needs of attachment that aren't met anymore. Of course, I could stop here, but I still don't know you have enough information to be able to change your life and change your relationship. Therefore, let's go to even more basic stuff. Here's your brain. So you, behind this screen, you are a metabolism, which means you are a system of different body parts, different organs, different nutrients that survive. One of your main role is to survive. You have maybe other things, connecting and so forth, but you try to survive. And this metabolism, like all systems, can be dysregulated, which means this system may sometimes lack things, or it can have too much of something. And if it happened, then the whole system is threatened and the whole system may die. So this metabolism that can be dysregulated is always trying to seek equilibrium, to seek balance, to find balance, because unbalance for this system means death. How it does that? It uses these beautiful organs that is brain. This is the main mission of the brain. The brain takes information from the body and from outside of the body, so it takes inputs and converts it into output, which are predictions and decisions to help regulate the metabolism and make sure that this metabolism always is balanced and regulated. Of course, when you're born, this prediction machine system is not very efficient, so you make a lot of mistakes doing this prediction, but this system learns how to correct itself with trial and error until it becomes more and more good, better and better in doing so. Now, in your relationship, like always, your brain was making predictions on these 3 things, on this needs of presence, this needs of response, and this need of importance. Why? Because if you have someone present for you, responding to your needs and threats, and if you're important for that person, there is high chance that if in any point in your history you are highly dysregulated and you need help, someone will be there, which maximize the chance of survival for your body, which means naturally your body will seek this kind of connection with other people, and that's a survival mechanism basically. So your brain was making all this prediction, and probably if you had a secure attachment, or if you have a better relationship, the answer was yeah, to all these questions. Maybe not a certain yes, but it was probably yeah. I think my partner will be mostly there for me and mostly will respond to my needs and distress. And I guess I'm not 100% sure, but probably I'm important for my partner. Or the opposite, if you want, the messed up, and probably the brain of your partner was making this prediction until something out of the scope of prediction of this brain happened. So this event that has threatened your relationship came from outside of this scope of prediction, and that's very disturbing for the brain. Why? Because the brain is there for helping you survive, and the brain don't like this kind of mistakes. These mistakes, they can cost you life. They can be deadly. So when this happens, the brain don't accept that. The brain automatically try to memorize everything about that thing that happened outside of the scope of prediction of the brain. And that's what we call a trauma. And that's why you've been disturbed and it has been so rough for you in these past months or years since the event, since the betrayal. That's simply because your brain, he didn't predict that. He didn't expect this thing to happen. So now we want to memorize everything about this so it doesn't happen twice. Because if it happened twice, it means you can die the second time. Alhamdulillah, you survived the first time. What about the second time? Will you survive the second time? Maybe not. So the brain wants to memorize everything about that thing. So it doesn't happen again. The other reason why it's very disturbing for the brain is, like I told you, with time, this machine prediction system, was fairly accurate with time, with trial and error. It was pretty good making this prediction. It was seemingly working. But now something happened, something very important happened, and it didn't predicted it. So it puts the whole system into questions. And so the brain has this need to reconstruct the whole system to be sure that it will be more accurate in the future, making this prediction. What it means for you is when you are experiencing this disturbing process, that means you are first doubting yourself, because the system is doubting itself. So you doubt your capacity to be able to trust in the future, and that means you distrust the other person, the source of pain here, so your partner. That's why it's been so hard for you to trust your partner again, and even to know if you are able to trust your partner again, which is another pain. Usually people in your situation have two pain. They don't trust the partner, and this is painful, and they don't know if they can trust their partner anymore, and this is painful as well, because you want to be able to trust your partner, because you love your partner, because you're attached to your partner. You don't want to separate and live or grow apart from each other. So you don't want that. You want to be connected and loved and in love with your partner. So that's very disturbing. And if you are in this situation, you've been experiencing two kinds of symptoms. I want to check that before I give you the solutions, and before I tell you what you've done wrong and what you need to change. The symptoms you are experiencing are grief symptoms and trauma symptoms. I'll explain that a bit, and then I'll explain what you need to change. But you see, it's very straightforward. So grief. What's grief exactly? Let's take a child and explain grief using the child. That child was born and had many attachment figures in his life. Maybe he has a brother, I'll call him Mukhtar. He had a dad, he had a mom. Maybe he had friends at school, let's call him Bilal. He had Bilal, his friend at school. All these people were important in this child life. And because they are important, this child brain wants more connection with these people, but obviously you can't always be present with these people. You can you can't be always together. Sometimes you need to do things on your own, which means a lot of time in life you'll be experiencing some kinds of separation from these attachment figures. And the brain needs a way to keep trace of all these attachment figures, because if every time you are separating from one of them, it's like a full-blown separation, then the brain can't handle it. Just imagine that I tell you that the next time you'll separate from your mother is the last time you'll see your mother. Probably you won't be able to leave her, and you'll just stay to her side forever, probably. So yeah, the brain needs a way to keep trace of these attachment figures, and so they can separate, have these tiny separation, these small separation, and live normally. So it keeps trace to all these people using different metrics, like a computer would be. So the computer, it keeps keeps track of all these file using, for example, name, weight, location, different things, helps the computer to keep trace and keep tracks of all these things, all these files. The brain does the same, but it doesn't keep track with name, location, and weights. It actually keep track of all these people using place, time, and attachment, which means every time you separate, the brain remember, where can I find this person if I want to meet this person? When can I meet this person? When I'll want to meet this person? And how attached and close am I to this person? How important it is for me to see this person again. Now, what happens if at some point one of these metrics needs to be updated? There is a high change in one of these informations. That's what happened when a close person pass away. So in my example, let's say Bilal sadly passed away on a weekend. Rahimahullah. And Bilal was your most important friend. You were very much attached to Bilal, but now Bilal is dead, is done, is gone. So there is things changing here, place and time. These two informations now changed. They changed a lot because you expected to be able to see Bilal on next Monday at school, but now it's not possible. So you won't meet Bilal at school, and you won't meet Bilal next Monday. So there is a high change here in these informations, and the brain needs to update. It needs to update, and this updating process is very, very hard for the brain. That's grief, and that's where you'll be experiencing this kind of symptom. So yearning and longing. Maybe you'll yearn to meet Bilal, and you all the time you'll be thinking about how much you want to meet Bilal, or longing. Maybe you'll be thinking of all these important memories you have with Bilal, and wanting to go back to these memories. You have multi-dimensional distress, which is many different emotions that just come from nowhere. So anger, you may be angry at the situation, or you may be in denial as well. Oh no, that there must be a way to get him back. That there must be a way. It's not possible that he just passed away. No, it's too young. Or maybe you'll be sad, so you'll have sadness. I'm so sad about losing Bilal, and so on and so forth. So you have so many things that can happen here, so many emotions linked to this updating process of your brain. And last but not least, you'll have search behavior, because this prediction system, this prediction machine that is your brain, will continue to make this prediction. So if your brain predicts that every Monday you'll be meeting Bilal at school, or every Tuesday or every day at school, your brain will continue to make this prediction, and you'll have this search behavior where you'll go at school, and your brain will say, oh, just look at this table, that's Bilal table. You'll see Bilal if you look here, and you don't see Bilal. So you have this feeling that you'll meet this person every time, that you'll still be able to see this person, and then the reality kicks in, and the truth is no, you just remember it's gone now, and you can't do it anymore. So that's what happened when you are grieving and when one of these dimension is changing. Now, what about when the dimension changing is attachment and closeness? So place stay the same, time stay the same, but something happened that puts this attachment closeness into questions, and now your brain need to update this information. Here, it's your exact situation. Hurts happen in your relationship, and now you need to change informations regarding attachment and closeness. And really, what needs to be updated is not place and time, because your partner, loved partner, you can meet your loved partner any day and when you want. Basically, you don't need to change this, but attachment closeness is different now. And that's a grief like every other grief. So you are updating and you have all these symptoms. You yearn, not the partner, but you yearn the past relationship, the past partner, the partner you remember before the event. That's why you so much distressed, and you're always thinking about the past and how great the relationship is, and how much you would be ready to pay to have the same relationship than before. And you have longing and nostalgia, of course, and you have this multi-dimensional distress. But it's a bit different now. It's like anger at what happened. I'm so angry that happened. How could he do that? How could she do that when we had such an amazing relationship? Or maybe denial, like, no, it's not possible. Maybe I didn't understand well. Probably I'm the one misunderstanding here. Or you may have sadness as well, or you may have acceptation. You may have all these different feeling towards the event and the past relationship, and you'll have such behavior. So let's say you had routines in your relationship. Let's say every day you guys were exchanging messages, or every day you guys were I don't know, every Friday you guys were dating, and now you can't because of the hurt, and you guys are just cold to each other's. Your brain will continue to make this prediction that every night I'll get my message, and every Friday I'll get my date with the loved partner. But now it's not possible. So you'll have always this prediction, oh, tomorrow that's the day where I'll go out with my partner. But no, it's not possible. So reality kicks in, and that's very painful. You have trauma symptoms as well, and that's because, like I said, trauma is basically when you have a great danger going outside of the scope of prediction of your brain, and then your brain decides to memorize everything about that thing so it doesn't happen again. And that's a trauma, and that's why you have this rumination. You can't stop thinking about it, because now the brain just wants to memorize everything, so it's extra focused on what happened. That's why you can't forget, because it's a one trial learning from the brain. The brain decided to learn everything, and it's very hard to forget now, because it's just wired in your brain so much. And hypervigilance, so that just means that you always feel like the danger is still there, that you are still in danger, and that things haven't changed. That's pretty normal. That's your brain saying that you need to remember this thing and be careful about this thing in the future. So yeah, there is trauma symptoms as well. That's important for you to understand, because that means the course of healing will follow these two main things, these grief symptoms and these trauma symptoms. That means when you have this kind of hurts in your relationship, the treatment need to focus on grief treatment and trauma-based treatment. And if you do so, inshallah, you can heal. Now, thank you for sticking with me. All these informations were important to change when you think about what happened. Now, let's go to the crux of the matter, which is what happened exactly. So, there was some event happening in your relationship. Once again, I don't know if you are the culprits or if you are the victim here. I just know this happened in your relationship, and probably all the time this can be divided into two kinds of events. So either it's a rejection behavior on your part, or your partner part. That's maybe one thing. For example, you can have insults, or you can have I don't know, like humiliation, anything, rejection based, or you can have independent behaviors from your partner, which is basically something your partner have done without caring for your emotion. And these events created attachment injuries. So they put these three needs into questions, these three questions into questions, and then you feel hurt, you feel resentment, and you can't trust your partner anymore. And the reason many couples get stuck in this problem and can't get past this problem is because they only focus on the event itself or the hurt, resentment, mistrust, and they neglect, they don't see the attachment injury. So they never discuss the attachment injury. And it's like, just imagine you have a doctor, his clients, his patient have stomach injuries, but you just focus on the heart. You just want to heal the heart and fix the heart. That won't work. If the injury is in the stomach, you need to heal the stomach. You need to focus on the stomach, right? That's what you've been doing. You've been this doctor focusing on the heart when the crux of the matter was the stomach. You've been focusing on the events when it was secondary or maybe not even important here. You've been focusing on the hurt, resentment, and mistrust when the real issue was the attachment injury. That's where you needed to focus on. So these people have this conversation. You have the culprits trying to say he's sorry and trying to move on fast, and you have then the victim always speaking about the events, or always speaking about the hurt, resentment, mistrust, but nobody can articulate these three real important questions that are: am I still important for you? Are you still important for me? Can I still know that you'll be there for me in the future? And can I still know that you'll be able to answer my needs and distress if there is the need to respond to my needs and distress? These are the three real questions you need to answer, and people get stuck into these pointless things. That's why you don't really need to focus on saying you're sorry, like many couples that get stuck, where the culprits will always repeat, I'm sorry, and the victim will say, I want you to be sorry. It's not really the point here. We just want to work on attachment injury and see that the three needs of attachment are still possible in the relationship, or sometimes worse. Sometimes the culprits will focus a lot on minimizing the event or the hurt or the resentment or the mistrust. It's because they think the hurt is here because we make too much of these events, or we exaggerate these events or emotions, but he's mistaken. Once again, it's just because of attachment injuries, not because of the gravity of the event or even the resentment and mistrust that you guys are stuck. So you should focus on meeting these three attachment needs and discussing and building trust about and around these three attachment needs and nothing else. Classic mistake many people do is because like I told you, these events may be either rejection behavior or it can be independent behavior. A lot of time, rejection behavior implies identity injuries. So when you are insulted or when the other person rejects you, it can trigger some pride. It can trigger some self-esteem issues here. And so they think, and they really think it's the case, that they are injured because their pride has been touched. So they will focus on that and say, I want you to respect me more. You didn't respect me, and they'll speak about respect and so on and so forth. But they are mistaken. If you focus on just that, you will just waste your time. Actually, you could not even focus 1 minute on these questions of pride and self-esteem and so forth. The only issue is attachment injuries. So that's a waste of your time and effort. And that's a reason why you get stuck, because you can't see that it's not a question of needs of identity being unmet. It's a question of attachment needs being unmet. That's why you're distressed. That's why you're hurt. Another time, people will focus on moral injuries, because a lot of time when you have these independent behaviors, that implies immorality. especially in marriage, where it implies that the partner didn't give the other person right, or sometimes has been completely immoral, like in case of affairs or in case of lies and so on and so forth. So they think it's hurtful because it was the person was wronged. They say I was wronged. It's painful and hurtful because that's immoral. What you've done was immoral, and they will focus on the morality of the thing, and that's why they will focus on saying sorry or repair or revenge. When really the truth is that's not the case. And the proof is a quick test you can do to check if it's really attachment or something else. And I think everybody will agree with me when you'll be doing this thought experiment is just imagine the same thing was done with a complete stranger, someone you don't even know, right? And I had a case a few weeks ago when I was helping a couple, like, I'm helping high income poor couples, so people that have some influence. And the woman was quite engaged politically. And the issue was that a lot of time her husband was contemptful or was criticizing some of her engagement and opinions. And it was creating high conflict in this relationship. And it was creating a lot of conflict in this relationship. So what happened is, during the session, she was saying, I just need to be respected. I just need to see the other person respect my opinions. And that's it. So I asked her, okay, so are you always that distressed when someone don't respect your opinions and don't place your opinions? She say, no, just with my husband. And I say, okay, why? Why isn't it the same with everybody? And she say, I don't know, it's because it's my husband. I want to feel respected by him particularly. And I say, why? And then when we get deeper into her feeling, we understood that the truth is, because of her past history, she has this fear of being replaced, and she had this need to feel special. And the problem is, since these political opinions were so important for her, every time it wasn't recognized, she felt unspecial. She didn't feel special for her husband, because for her it's the important part of her identity. So if the husband don't recognize it and don't appreciate her political engagement, it's like he don't see her as special, and if he don't see her as special, she can be replaced. So it was the needs of importance here, to feel important for the other person, that led to all these hurts in her relationship. That's an example, but I can give another one. Just imagine that a wife steal from her husband. Yeah, a wife steal, I don't know, 1 million, a lot of money from her husband. You may think, oh, that's wrong. That's very wrong to steal that much of money. That's why he's so hurt, because it was very immoral of her to do that. And the truth is, no, because if a complete stranger would steal that much money from you, yeah, you would not be happy. I know you would be pretty pissed off. You would probably be very angry. You would probably want revenge and want justice. Yeah, it's true, though. You wouldn't be hurt. Like, no, that's different. And that's the thing with what I want to conclude this video. The reason why you're hurt is because you love this partner, this person. I shouldn't even say partner, it's more than that. That person is important for you. That's your love. And that's because you're loving that you're having this pain. And what I want you to do is to stop rejecting that pain. Just honor the fact that you are in pain after you've been hurt in your relationship. And stop seeing that hurt as being something inherently wrong. That there is nothing wrong with being hurt after having loved, because that's just the proof that this love you had for this other person was authentic and genuine. And you should honor the fact that in your relationship you've been hurt. Now, if you're the one that messed up and your partner is the one that is hurt, what I want you to get from this video is, don't be impressed like everything is is over, and we need to get rid of these painful emotions because they will kill us. No, 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 no. Don't be impressed by her or his emotion. They are totally normal, and they are a proof that he or she was sincere in him, her love. That's very, very important, inshallah. So yeah, and don't try to change your vision of love because you've been hurt in your relationship. Love is a beautiful thing, and I know that sometimes love implies being hurt, and I know how much a struggle it is. You've probably been not sleeping well for months or years. You've probably been suffering from that, and maybe your kids have been suffering from that. I know how dire the situation may be for you. Though, the opposite of that would be to live in a black and white world where there is no love. And, you know, this black and white world where there is no love, yeah, maybe when the world is colored, and when you have colorful world, maybe there is some colors you don't like, it's true. But it's vibrant, it's way more beautiful. That's the best world, and it's better than having a black and white world when you just don't see any color. So once again, don't be afraid of that. These emotions, they are human. You are a human person, loving, having a vibrant, authentic, true heart, and just honor the fact that it's the case, and learn to appreciate and be grateful that you are able to feel these emotions, because if not, you would just be in this black and white world where many of what's important for us and many of these important experience would be lost. That's it for today. I want to make other videos in the future where I'll focus more on the step-by-step things you can do, especially to handle grief and trauma. So to provide you more access to grief-based clinical treatment and trauma-based clinical treatments. Like that, you can do real actions and save the relationship. But I think this first video was useful, and this mindset focus is very important for you to just change your approach and see changes in your situation. Thanks you for listening, and if you liked the video, please share it with anyone that can be helped through that video. So it's not just sharing. I actually don't care if this channel get big. I just want to help as many people as possible. So just share it with whoever can be helped. And please share comments with everything you thought about this video and what you liked about it or what you disliked about it. Like that, I can improve my content and help you better in the future. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah.